What's up, ladies and gentlemen? In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you the basics of C++. So grab your popcorn and sit back and relax and enjoy the show. So first, we're going to create a new folder called source, SRC. This is where all of our source files are going to go to the compiler. So think about the compiler as a thing that converts your source code into zeros and ones. That's what the compiler does. There's compilers like GCC, which you need a compiler in order to compile source code, or G++, which comes with GCC. G++ is to compile C++ code usually, but yeah. So first, let's create our new file called main.cpp, which is a C++ file. And after that, we're gonna include a library called iostream. This is input and output library. It allows us to do input and output things, basically. And then we're gonna create a function int main. This is always the starting of a program. This is how you start your program in C++ or C. This is usually how you start your program. It tells the compiler, hey, this is the starting point of the program. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you some data types. First, we have an int data type. Let's say I want to do some calculations. So we could create num1, num2, and also total. Now for that, we can just say, we can do std count. And std is the standard library in C++. So it's going, so count is a function in the standard library. That's why we could do this right here. Then now we're gonna do these two operator signs. This stands for print. And then now we're gonna ask the user for some input. Like, what is your first number? Then now it should prompt the user, but now we have to do something else. So we're going to back to the standard library. Then we're gonna ask for, let's say, sin. This is how you accept input into a variable in C++. And then once again, it's in the standard library for a reminder. But over here, you could just using namespace std, and then that you only have to use this, but that's not really good for best practices. But now we're gonna ask for a num1 variable, which is an integer variable. It can't be a negative, but a whole number basically. It can't be a decimal either, so it has to be like a whole number basically. So if your user types a decimal, what do you think happens? The program will just crash, right? Well, yeah, the program will just malfunction. But so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna add some error handling. If Oh wait, we're not gonna do. Actually, we're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna do that later. Then we're gonna ask for the second number. What is your second number? And then once again, we're getting from the standard library, and we're printing count. That's how you print C++. Then we're gonna do sin, which is how you accept input basically. Then we're asked for number 2 variable right here, and it's an integer data type. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some math. But first, we're gonna add some error handling right before we do that math to calculate. So let's say if num1 and num2 equal to 0. Then we're gonna tell the user, we're gonna print from the standard library again, this function right here. We're gonna say error, like that. You don't have to do it like that, it'll just say a message to the user. But we're gonna say error. Put a number then else we could do something else. So like if statement, if some a conditional is set to set to something. So no, if number one and number two is equal to 0, then we'll do this. But else, you also have to do an if statement if you want to do else. But else, that means this didn't happen, then we'll do something else. So I'm gonna print success. Then now, if we do a switch is super good. Oh wait, first we gotta make a choice in the integer data type, because the user needs to put in a choice. Then after we do that, we're just gonna ask the user. We're gonna give the user choices. So number one is add, number two is gonna be divide, and number three multiply, and number four we're gonna subtract. Now we're gonna ask for input again for a choice this time. Then now using our switch statement, we're gonna we're gonna look for a choice. So our switch is gonna be attached to the choice basically. That's like like it's gonna if case one is like if it's number one, then we do that. So now case one. We can also do strings too, but like you could do letters, but I like to do numbers when it comes to choosing things. But if case one, that means if if there's a number one in choice, then we're gonna do this. And since I have a total right here variable, I could just it's super simple. This is like a super simple program. We just do total equals. Since we're adding, we're gonna add num1, which is what is our first number, num2. Then we're gonna break. Breaking from that switch is super important, or else your program will break. Then now let's say we want to do case 2. That means it's number 2. That means we divide. Now, dividing is a bit different. We have to add some more error handling, because if you don't do that, then the program will break. So let's say if wait. If num1 equals to 0, SDV count error. You can't divide by 0. You cannot divide by 0. Because you know in math you can't divide by 0 or else it breaks. And then now we do another if num2 equals 0. I mean this one I think it has to check for if both of them are equal to 0, but when we divide we got to make sure no number equals to 0. So that's why we're doing this. And sorry guys, it may not be the best way to do this. I'm only been studying for about 4 months, so apologize. But now, if number 2 equals to 0, then we're gonna do another error. Error. You cannot divide by 0. There we go. Now what we're gonna do is do the math. Total equals num1, and then the operator, it's like a slash for dividing in programming usually. After that, we want to break. And by the way, in our if statement, we probably want to return 1 to cancel the program. That basically, it exits out of the program so the user can't continue at the restart. So yeah. Then now, we're going to do case 3. This is multiply. This is a lot more easier. We just do total equals 3 multiply. Oh wait. total E equals num1 multiplied by num2. That's what we do here in programming. My bad, guys. We weren't supposed to. If you ever do this, don't use actual numbers. You gotta use the variable. Like, yeah. Then after that, we're gonna break. Case 4. And this is the final switch statement we're making. If total, we're gonna do total equals number1 minus num2. Break. Then after that, I mean that's it. And if you guys don't know what the symbol is, this is the operator for multiplying in programming usually. This little symbol thing. And after that, we're gonna break. So yeah. So now we're gonna exit out of our switch. Like, get out of that. And then after that, we're gonna print out your total is VV. Your total is total. And now I'm gonna compile my code. So if you have a source folder, if you have a folder where your source files are, you wanna CD into that if you know how to use the terminal. Then after that, you wanna do G+++. If you have the compiler, we're gonna compile our C++ file into a main.exe. And if you see no error, that's a good thing. That means there's nothing wrong, hopefully. And now we're gonna enter our first number, our second number, and let's say I want to multiply. And now our total. And by the way, this thing, success right here, and since it's on the same line, to fix that, you usually want to go right here and do this. This stands for make a new line, basically, when you're printing. So yeah. So let's recompile our code, and that should be fixed, hopefully. 25, 5, and see, it's not on the same line anymore. Then we're going to do free for divide. Oh wait, free to multiply, lol, my bad. I got confused a bit. But yeah, that's how you do a calculator. But now, what we're going to do, we're going to mess with some other data types. Ant main again to start your program. Then what we're going to do is create a string of languages of 4. And they're going to equal. We're just going to do programming languages like C++, Python. Oh, wait. We got to use, I forgot. We have to get from the standard library. So yeah. So a string data type is like a string data type in programming, aka str, is like a list. It's like a number of characters combined together. That's basically what a string is, data type. Then now we're gonna do C#. After that, we're gonna do, let's say, Ruby. And yeah. So now we're gonna do for int I equals 0. If I to IV4. I++. V2 languages. And we I++. Wait, we have an error. Hold on. I forgot. So let's say I want to print. My bad, guys. I forgot how to do that one. But let's say if we wanted, so in programming, if you're saying what is this for? Well, there's only you can only put 4 like strings in there. That's basically what it is. It's called a multi-dimensional array, basically in programming. And you mess with these all the time at big companies usually. Like if you want to store big data or like data and stuff. It's basically kind of like a JSON file. Just think about that. Kind of like it, but not. See, we can only store 4 of strings in here. Then now we're gonna print languages. Then now, if we compile our code, G++, then now let's run my main.exe. Oh, wait. I'm a bit silly. So that's a memory address in the computer. So a memory address usually is like where it points into a computer memory, basically. So wait, we gotta print languages of I indents, I think. Wait, we gotta print languages at 1. So yeah, and at 1, so computers usually start like at 0. So this is 0 and this is 1. And this is 2 and this is 3, basically. So now, let's see if I compile my code again. Fingers crossed it works. And see, we print out Python. And that's pretty much it. I mean, not it. Wait. So now, let's say if I want to make a function. A function in programming is like something that we can declare, like a function, basically. You use these all the time in programming, and they're pretty basic. So let's create a function called print. Oh wait, let's create a function called happy birthday. Then we're gonna accept a std string of name. Then now we can do this. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Then after that, we can just do name. So our name variable, we're accepting a string called name. We're basically accepting a string data type. So now if we go right here and then we do happy birthday, and then now we're gonna pass our string data type. Let's pass, let's say Bradley. That's my first name. Then let's just do that. See, look how simple this only 1 line of code, and this is like a function, so it pretty much does the work. And we can do this multiple times, and it'll do the thing. So now let's recompile our code again. Then see, it says happy birthday Brantley. So yeah, that is it for today's videos. I'll be doing more programming tutorials for now. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to share with your programming friends if you have some. And share the resources if you can. It would be really helpful to the channel, and make sure to help me out. And there's also a Discord server below if you guys want to join that to talk to me about programming topics. But yeah, that's it. Goodbye.